Hello and welcome to Quest Recapped. Today, we will be going through the 2016 animated action comedy film, Zootopia. In the small town of Bunnyborough, lives a cute fluffy bunny named Judy Hopps who is egalitarian and energetic. Right from a young age, she dreams of becoming a police officer. There has never been a bunny police officer in history, so, a young bully fox, Gildan teases her for her dream. Even Judy's parents want her to have a safe and stable life, and follow their family business of carrot farming. 15 years later, with Judy's hard work and great determination, she graduates from Zootopia Police Academy as the valedictorian of her class and becomes the first rabbit police officer. The Mayor Lionheart assigns her to the city center in the heart of Zootopia. Zootopia is the dream city of every animal, as there lives the prey and predator in harmony and peace. Before Judy leaves for Zootopia, her parents prepare her a care package that mainly contains items to be safe from the arch-enemy, foxes. Judy quickly grabs a fox repellent so that she doesn't hurt her parents' feelings and gets on the express train that leads her to the dream city. The next day, she is pretty excited for the first day of her duty. However, Chief Bogo assigns her to the parking lot duty even though there are still unsolved cases of 14 missing animals. He doesn't think much of her and orders her to write 100 tickets a day. 100 tickets? Judy makes a commitment to write 200 tickets. Before noon. And she does accomplish it. At noon, she sees Nick Wilde, a sly fox loitering around the street, and enters an ice cream shop. She is on high alert, but Judy retreats when she sees that the fox is only trying to buy the jumbo pop for his little boy. Nevertheless, the staff refuses to sell him anything. Judy can't sit still when a citizen suffers injustice right before her eyes. So with her involvement, the staff agrees to sell him the jumbo pop. However, Nick tells her that he has forgotten his wallet and tells his son that he is sorry for making his birthday worst. Then they proceed to leave. This melts Judy's heart, so she buys the little Finn Nick the jumbo pop. Well, wouldn't you know it? Judy, the innocent rabbit, has been swindled by the mischievous fox, Nick, and his fake son, Finn Nick. Not too long, Judy sees Finn Nick, who is actually Nick's partner in crime, loading the jars of melted ice cream into a van. She becomes confused when she sees Finn Nick driving the van while Nick leisurely sits on the passenger seat. So, she decides to follow them, and that lets her find that the con duo is making popsicles out of the melted ice cream and selling it to the group of hamsters working in the bank. Furthermore, they sell the sticks of popsicles as lumber made up of redwood. The angry Judy confronts Nick for lying to her and he replies that it is his hustle. She accuses him of selling the food without a permit and transporting undeclared commerce across borough lines. However, Nick has both the permit and receipt of declared commerce, so she can't arrest him for those accusations. Now, Judy returns back to the work next day, feeling dejected. But, she can finally showcase her ability when there is a robbery nearby and she is asked to chase the thief. She not only catches the weasel thief from the Little Rodentia, but also saves a little lady rodent in the process. However, Chief Bogo reprimands her for leaving her post during duty and causing havoc in Little Rodentia to chase the weasel for stealing the bulbs of Midnicampum holocithias, which appear as moldy onions. Just then, Mrs. Otterton barges into the room. She informs them that her husband, Emmett Otterton, has been missing for 10 days and asks someone to be sent to find her husband. Now, Judy volunteers to find Emmett. Asking Mrs. Otterton to give them some space, Chief Bogo threatens to fire Judy and tells her not to take the case. However, since Assistant Mayor Bellwether have informed about Judy's initiatives, Chief Bogo could do nothing about it. Therefore, he tells Judy that she just has 48 hours to solve the case, or else, she would be fired. Then, she receives the thinnest case file related to Mr. Otterton. Looking closely at the attached picture, Judy sees Emmett eating the popsicles and notices Nick's tail in the photo. Judy then finds Nick to ask a few questions about the case. Since he is uncooperative, she blackmails him into helping her by using the recordings of his confession to tax evasion on her carrot pen. He takes her to the Mystic Spring Oasis, the naturist club that Emmett used to frequent. The crucial clues provided by Yax, the owner of the club, help them to track down the limousine in which Emmett last got in. And they find the limousine in Tundra Town limo service. They sneak into it and find polar bear fur and messed up back seats. They even find Emmett's driver's license there. Nick realizes that the limousine belongs to Mr. Big, a mafia boss with whom he has had a sour relationship. In the past, he had sold the rug made up of a skunk's but in the name of a very expensive wool rug. Anyway, it's late because they are caught by Mr. Big's men and are brought in front of Mr. Big. Since it's Mr. Big's daughter's wedding day, he wants to quickly deal it with, so he orders Nick and Judy to be dumped in the ice-cold water tank. When Frou-Frou, Mr. Big's daughter comes to get her dad for the wedding dance and sees Judy ready to be dumped in the ice tank, she immediately stops her dad. She tells him that Judy is the same bunny who saved her life a day before in Little Rodentia. Now, Mr. Big wants to pay her back for saving his daughter, so after the wedding, he tells Judy and Nick that Mr. Otterton went savage, attacked his driver, and ripped up his car before disappearing. The word savage is used to describe the animal that goes back to the primitive nature of hunting down its prey. Mr. Big gives them the address of his driver, Manchas, to find out more about the incident. They visit Manchas in the Rainforest District. Upon interrogation, Manchas recalls the day when Mr. Otterton goes savage and attacked him. He also tells them that he kept on yelling night howlers. They ask him to let them in so that they can have a good conversation about the night howler. Just when Manchas closes the door to unlock the safety chain, his groaning is heard outside. Immediately, Judy and Nick open the door to check on him, and that's when they see he has turned savage and is about to attack them. As a result, they run hard to save their life. After a lot of struggle, Judy manages to call ZPD for backup and trap the savage Manchas. By the time help arrives, Manchas is nowhere to be seen, and he simply has disappeared. Chief Bogo doesn't believe her story of someone turning into a savage at this age of time. She brings forth Nick as the key witness to support her story, but, because of the prejudice against the fox, Chief Bogo refuses to acknowledge him. He then reminds her of their deal and asks her to return her police badge. That's when Nick interferes and tells them that there are still 10 hours to find Mr. Otterton. Then, Nick and Judy ride the Skytrams. He tells Judy that when he was little, he wanted to join the Junior Ranger Scouts. But, what the cheerful little fox faced is bullying from her fellow friends, just because he was a fox. From that day onwards, he decided to become the untrusty, sly fox as others perceives him to be, and also never to let anyone get to him. Hearing the fox being a little emotional, Judy tries to comfort him. Next, Nick realizes that the city is filled with traffic cams, so there have to be things recorded somewhere. So, Judy seeks help from Bellwether to get access to the footage from the traffic cam database. They then look at the footage from before and see 2 timberwolves capturing Manchas. Judy figures out that the night howlers refers to the howling wolves, and in this particular incident, it might be pointing towards timberwolves. As a result, they continue to follow the van driving to the cliffside. Later, Nick and Judy sneak into the huge mansion of the cliffside after distracting the wolves with a howl. The mansion's interior looks like a hospital, and they find all 14 missing mammals and Manchas who went savage. A while later, Zootopia's mayor, Lionheart, comes with the doctor and demands the reason for mammals turning into savages from him. The doctor tells Lionheart that it might be related to predator animal biology. And when on the verge of being caught, Judy and Nick escape through the toilet drainage. After the ZPD has been called, Mayor Lionheart is arrested by Chief Bogo. Mayor Lionheart tells them that he was just trying to protect the city from the savage, and they still don't know the cause for it. At the press conference the next day, Chief Bogo informs the media that all the missing mammals have been found by the new recruit officer, Judy Hopps. Before standing in front of the mass, Judy gives Nick an application form and expresses her desire to work with him as a partner. Seeing this, Nick is touched by her action. On the podium, Judy tells the media that they still don't know the cause, but it's only the predator animals turning savage. She believes it might be related to the predator's biology as they are turning back to primitive instinct. But listening to these words really hurt Nick's feelings. Later on, her statement causes havoc in the once a peaceful city of Zootopia, as the harmony between the prey and the predator species starts breaking down. After Lionheart has been arrested, Bellwether has been appointed as a new mayor. Bellwether and Chief Bogo want Judy to be the public face of the ZPD as Judy has become the hero with the latest case. However, Judy blames herself for the destruction of the peaceful environment of Zootopia, so she hands over her badge and quits her job right there. After returning back to the bunny burrow, she starts working in her parents' business. Her parents tell her that she has helped them to open their minds to working with Gildan, which can be considered unthinkable in the past. Gildan, who has stopped by to give the Hops family some pie, apologizes to Judy for his past behavior. While having a conversation with her parents and Gildan, Judy comes to know that many Campum holosithias is also known as night howlers, which can cause animals to act like a savage. Then, Judy hurries back to the city center of Zootopia to meet with Nick. And after revealing the truth about the cursed flower, the duo reconcile and they drive to catch Duke Weaselton. A little threatening with the help of Mr. Big makes Duke's mouth open quickly. He tells that a ram named Doug offered him money for the night howlers. Now, Judy and Nick go to find Doug in the subway as said by Duke. They infringe into an old train compartment where Doug has been farming mini Campum holosithias. They witness Doug extracting the essential component from its flower into a serum ball. When Doug goes to get the drink from his lackeys, Judy kicks Doug and locks him out. She plans to drive the train and present the whole mini Campum holosithias farming as evidence. Miraculously, the train starts operating, but the rams are right at their tails. They soon enter the city, and during a crash, the whole train compartment explodes, just leaving behind the briefcase with the dart gun that has been hidden by Nick. Now, they rush to the ZPD using the shortcut through the Natural History Museum. Anyways, Bellwether stops them on their way as Judy tells the real reason for animals turning savage. However, as she is about to hand over the briefcase, the question of how Bellwether found them there arises. The suspicion grows and Judy tells her that she would hand over the evidence at the ZPD. Unfortunately, they have already been cornered by the furious rams. Judy hurts herself while running, so she asks Nick to deliver the evidence to the police. However, they fail to outsmart Bellwether and the rams, and get trapped in the exhibit. Bellwether reveals herself as the mastermind behind all this. She hits Nick with the dart gun and lays the scenario for the next day's news, a prey officer getting killed by the savage predator. Bellwether tells them that she wishes to keep the fear of prey and predator keep on growing in Zootopia. However, she fails to notice that Nick has already changed the serum with a blueberry, so Nick attacking Judy is just an act. Meanwhile, Judy has also recorded every word that has come out of Bellwether's mouth. By then, ZPD arrives and arrests Bellwether and the rams. In the following days, the news of Bellwether's arrest spread throughout the city, and also the antidote for the effects of night howlers is proven to be effective. The lives of the prey and the predator return back to a normal state of peace and harmony. In the end, Judy concludes the speech at the Zootopia Police Academy graduation program by encouraging everyone to try to make the world a better place as the change starts with us. And then, she gives the police badge to Nick as he graduates from the academy, becoming the first Fox police officer. We have come to the end of this video. Thank you for watching. Kindly like, subscribe, and share this video. If you also have thoughts you intend to share, kindly leave them in the comment section. See you in the next video.